Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel, thank you. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Renegade Immortal based on novel. So let's start. Wang Lin arrived outside Wufeng Valley with a monstrous killing intent. Although Wufeng Valley was called a valley, it still had a mountain. The mountain range was called Five Peak Mountains. The mountain range was shaped like 5 fingers coming out of the ground. Wufeng Valley was located in this mountain range. The main sect was in the middle mountain while the other 4 mountains were for all the branches of the sect. Many years ago, when Wufeng Valley was at its peak, the 5 mountains were filled with spirit energy. There were thousands of cultivators and Wufeng Valley was the overlord of the area. But now, the mountain range was very deserted and spirit energy was scarce. There wasn't even 1,000 disciples in the sect anymore, and many of them were new disciples who were only at the first or second layer of chi condensation. Wang Lin arrived at the mountain riding the mosquito beast. It seemed someone had noticed his presence. Immediately, a cyan-colored light screen appeared to block Wang Lin. At the same time, a powerful killing intent came from the peak of each mountain. There were 5 men in white standing at the top of each peak with blue, red, purple, yellow, and white swords respectively floating above their heads. Boundless waves of spiritual energy came from the mountains and entered the 5. After a series of conversions, that energy entered the flying swords, making them more powerful. Wang Lin let out a sneer. These 5 are all members of the Tang family. Clearly, they were prepared. They must have been warned by that old man of the Tang family from the last sect, so they made preparations beforehand. This was inevitable and Wang Lin didn't try to keep it a secret. With that old man's cultivation level, Wang Lin could have easily killed him before he could send out the warning. This was exactly what Wang Lin wanted. He wanted the entire country of Zhao to know that he was going to wipe out the Tang family. His revenge was not something to be done in secret. Instead, he would blaze the across country, because right now, he had the power to do so. The 5 Tang family members' hearts were very gloomy. They opened up the ground formation because they got the warning from Tang Jiao that a powerful enemy was coming. Even though they had the ground formation up, the 5 didn't feel relaxed at all and instead felt rage in their hearts. They were enraged because they saw the 7 bodies bound to the dragon banner floating behind the youth in white. Wang Lin didn't pause. The moment the defense formation came up, he took out an ancient sword sheath. His eyes were filled with a ruthless light. Since Wufeng Valley was using sword chi to fight, then let them see what real sword chi is. Wang Lin took out a flying sword with his right hand. Currently, he had many low-quality magic treasures with him. After all, 400 years of accumulated wealth was no small amount. He quickly forced the sword into the sword sheath. When it was 1/5 of the way in, there was suddenly a powerful resistance. After the killing spree was over, 2 old men walked out of Wufeng Valley. These 2 were the nascent soul cultivators of Wufeng Valley. Not only were they not angry, but there was excitement burning in their eyes as one of them said, "The Tang family is finished." The other nodded and laughed. That's right. This person's cultivation level is really high. He must be from a demonic sect of a higher-ranked cultivation country. From the looks of his actions, he intends to wipe out the Tang family. I wonder if Pun Nanzi acted, would he be able to hold out? Even if he can't, it won't affect us. Junior apprentice brother, I feel that this person looks very familiar, but no matter how much I try, I just can't remember where I've seen him before, really. Senior apprentice brother, I thought it was just me, but we must have met this person before. The 2 thought for a long time, but still couldn't remember anything. They had already forgotten about the youth that had his body destroyed in a fight against Tang Huiyuan outside Wufeng Valley all those years ago. Wang Lin stood on top of the mosquito beast. His eyes were still cold as he set his sights on a village 8,000 kilometers away. There were 174 Tang family members in that village. Tang family city. Tang Huiyuan sat in the main hall of the Tang family ancestral home. His face was gloomy and before him knelt 3 people. Besides the 3 people, there were dozens of others around the hall. All of them stood with their heads down. Silence and fear flashed across their eyes. In 4 days, this person has killed 961 people of the Tang family. Tang Huiyuan let out a laugh as his eyes became even colder. He threw a piece of jade at one of the people that were kneeling on the ground and said, "Son, speak. Share the news that you have brought back." The youth kneeling on the ground was a young man whose face was as white and smooth as jade. He took the jade and placed it on his forehead. His expression didn't change as he slowly said, "4 days ago, this person appeared at the Qian Dao sect. He killed 7 members of our Tang family and left. On the same day, he appeared at Wufeng Valley and used a sword sheath magic treasure to destroy the defense formation. He set up a 1,000-kilometer restriction zone and killed 93 members of our Tang family. 3 days ago, he appeared at a branch home of our Tang family. He killed all 174 Tang family members there. On the same day, this person showed up Tianyin City and wiped out the branch family that was established there 200 years ago. A total of 104 Tang family members were killed. In the middle of the proboscis hung chain that connected to something all the way behind them. The chain spread into many different branches. There were countless bodies attached to each branch. Although everyone only saw a picture, they all took deep breaths and revealed horrified expressions. Some of their faces were already so pale, there wasn't even a trace of blood left on them. After Tang Huiyuan saw the picture, his eyes were glued onto the youth's face. After a long time, he revealed an expression of disbelief. He didn't hesitate as he grabbed the scroll with his hands. He stared at the picture as veins began to surface on his forehead. "So it is you." A strong aura suddenly spread from Tang Huiyuan and turned the furniture around him into dust. There was even a Tang family member that wasn't able to get away fast enough and was turned to dust after letting out a scream. As for the 3 people kneeling on the ground, they were the first ones to back away. Aside from the youth with the indifferent expression, the other 2 were terrified. Everyone in the hall knew that the ancestor was angry. After killing 900+ Tang family members, the ancestor didn't get angry and was only gloomy, but after seeing a picture of this person, they didn't know why, but the ancestor lost control of his spiritual energy. Tang Huiyuan stared at the youth in the picture. There was a trace of fear in his eyes. He was able to instantly recognize the person in the picture. It was that Wang Lin from back then. But he clearly remembered seeing Wang Lin die back then, which was why when he saw the picture, he was shocked and lost control of his spiritual energy. Tang Huiyuan still remembered even to this day the terrifying eyes Wang Lin had when he died. That look had haunted him for these past 400 years. Tang Huiyuan muttered, "He came back." At that moment, everyone in the hall wondered who exactly this person was. It was clear that the ancestor knew this person, or their hatred for each other wouldn't be so deep. But almost everyone here was born in the last 400 years, so they didn't know about what had happened 400 years ago. In fact, although many people knew about this matter, not many people talked about it. After all, a nascent soul cultivator wiping out a mortal family was not something to brag about. After arriving at the 10,000-kilometer limit, Tang Huiyuan didn't stop and charged forward. A screen of red light suddenly appeared as Tang Huiyuan slammed into it. Waves of ripples spread out, but the light screen didn't break. No matter how far Tang Huiyuan stretched it, it would always return to normal. Tang Huiyuan's expression became even darker. Then, he took out powerful magic treasures and used them one by one. To his horror, he found that the light screen remained intact. A trace of anxiety that hadn't appeared in a long time appeared in Tang Huiyuan's heart. He almost immediately realized that Wang Lin had asked someone to put down this restriction. The goal was to trap everyone in Tang family city so they could only sit and watch as the rest of the Tang family members were killed. There was also another purpose for the light screen. All of the killing would scare the Tang family members to escape to Tang family city. Once everyone has gathered in Tang family city, Wang Lin will come attack. Tang Huiyuan didn't believe that Wang Lin had the ability to lay down this restriction himself. Even if Wang Lin hadn't died that time, at most, his cultivation was only at the late stage of core formation or the early stage of nascent soul in the worst case. With Tang Huiyuan's late stage nascent soul cultivation, Wang Lin didn't seem significant to him at all. What he feared was the person who had set up this restriction. He guessed that that person's cultivation level might be spirit severing. This was his real concern. After pondering for a while, he wondered how deep of a relationship that senior had with Wang Lin. If their relationship wasn't too deep, then this wasn't something the family couldn't withstand. Tang Huiyuan didn't even think that there was any chance that this restriction had been placed by Wang Lin. He pondered a bit, then left with a gloomy expression. After he returned, he opened up all of the protective formations in Tang family city with no regards to the cost. He then went into closed-door cultivation to keep his body at its peak so he'd be ready to battle at any time. To Wang Lin, the past 4 days of killing and the 1,000 people he had killed was only the start. Compared to the tens of thousands of Tang family members, this was only a small number. Wang Lin stood on the mosquito beast and behind him were almost 1,000 bodies. The 1,000 bodies covered a few hundred feet of area, and when he flew over an area, they cast a shadow on the land below. His eyes were still cold. It was as if they were ice that would never melt even in tens of thousands of years. His next destination was the Heian sect. The Heian sect had become the #1 demonic sect in Jiao. They had many exports and thousands of disciples. There were a total of 481 Tang family members in the Heian sect. These people were not all Heian sect disciples, but they were at the Heian sect right now. In addition to the flowers, there were many spots of light on the carriage. When the carriage moved, it was like the night sky filled with stars. In fact, it was so bright that the light would hurt your eyes if you looked at them. Even with Wang Lin's mental fortitude, he couldn't help but be dumbstruck for a moment. All of those shiny objects were low-quality spirit stones. It's not that the spirit stones were that precious or that there were that many. If Wang Lin were to lay out all of the spirit stones he possessed, he could decorate hundreds of those carriages. However, even with how long Wang Lin had lived and how much he had experienced, this was the first time he had met someone so lavish. The young boys and girls around the flower carriage were all very handsome and pretty. Although they were all only at the second or third stage of chi condensation, the arrogance on their faces was even greater than some low-key nascent soul cultivators. As the flower carriage got closer, Wang Lin's eyes became more calm as he observed the carriage. Immortal Jimo is here, everybody make way. One of the youths shouted in a high-pitched voice as he stared at Wang Lin, completely disregarding all of the bodies floating behind Wang Lin. Jimo. Wang Lin pondered a little. This name sounded very familiar to him. After carefully thinking, his eyes suddenly lit up as he said, "Old man Jimo, you dare." Almost all of the youths shouted at the same time. Their voices were in complete unison, as if they had practiced. Maybe because all of their voices were in sync, they were able to create a bit of pressure. However, to Wang Lin, it was far too weak. "Shut up. All of you, stand down." A sharp voice came from inside the carriage. Shortly after, the front part of the carriage slowly opened up, revealing a very gorgeous bed. On that bed lied a body that was like a mountain of fat. The person had an oily face and was so fat that he didn't even look human anymore. The person was wrapped in a blanket. The blanket was covered in mid-quality spirit stones. Then, he spread out his divine sense. This time, he carefully looked at all the bodies. As he checked, his face became more and more ugly, and this gaggle of corpses suddenly had a totally different meaning. He almost sucked in a breath of cold air as he stared at Wang Lin and slowly asked, "These people are all Tang family members?" He suddenly became very cautious and no longer dared to look down on this person. Although the Tang family members that were killed weren't strong, if this person dared to kill this many Tang family members, then he was either stupid or arrogant enough to not fear Tang Huiyuan. He immediately decided in his heart that this person was not someone he could mess with. Tang Huiyuan had already reached the late stage of nascent soul and the Tang family was filled with powerful cultivators, yet this person didn't seem to care. Obviously, this person was looking down on the Tang family and old man Jimo didn't want to mess with a madman like this. Old man Jimo's face was instantly filled with smiles as he said, "Well done." This old man also sees the Tang family as an annoyance. "Fellow cultivator, good job killing, keep on killing. This old man has something to do, so I'll take my leave." With that, he tried to maneuver the carriage to back up to get away from this fiend. Wang Lin's eyes became cold as he asked, "Do you know why I'm killing Tang family members?" Old man Jimo's body shook. He had a feeling that something bad was going to happen and said, "I don't want to know. Fellow cultivator, goodbye." With that, he started to leave without any hesitation, even leaving behind the young boys and girls that were escorting him. Wang Lin didn't stop him, but slapped his bag of holding and took out the restriction flag. With a shake, the flag instant covered an area of 1,000 kilometers. Old man Jimo's expression suddenly became very ugly. He stared at Wang Lin and barked, "What is this meaning of this? I didn't interfere with you or the Tang family. Your cultivation level is the same as mine, don't think I'm afraid of you." Wang Lin calmly looked at old man Jimo. He let out a sarcastic smile and said, 400 years ago, your youngest disciple suddenly died. Do you still remember?" The moment old man Jimo heard this, he was immediately stunned, but soon recovered and stared at Wang Lin without a word. Wang Lin's voice was gentle as he slowly said, "That little disciple you had was killed by me and he had a disciple called Zhonghu, who was from the same sect as me." The fat on old man Jimo's face twitched as he faked a smile and said, "You killed him? Oh well. This old man has already forgotten about what happened 400 years ago. Although he said that, his hand was already on his bag of holding. For streams of black smoke emerged next to him. In the gaps between the smoke, one could see the mummified puppets. Normally, when Old Man Jimo fought, he didn't use this move at all. This showed just how much he dreaded Wang Lin. Each of these puppets had a cultivation level close to early-stage nascent soul, but Wang Lin didn't pay any attention to him and said, "After that, Zhong Hu and I were chased by Tang Lu. I believe you should remember what happened back then." Suddenly, 8 restrictions suddenly appeared from the darkness, covering the area and surrounding the 4 puppets. Wang Lin leisurely flew toward Old Man Jimo. Although Old Man Jimo was fat, he was not slow. He quickly flew away and even teleported to escape, but no matter how hard he tried to escape, Wang Lin was always right behind him. Jimo clenched his teeth and stopped moving. His hand formed a seal and his body shook. The fat on his body started to move strangely. It seemed to be slowly absorbed as his body became thinner. As the fat was absorbed by his body, his aura suddenly became stronger. His hair moved without any wind and the amount of spirit energy in him increased. His cultivation level suddenly went from early-stage nascent soul to mid-stage nascent soul. In the end, the person before Wang Lin was a very strong-looking middle-aged man. This person was very handsome. His brows were thick, his eyes were large, and he emitted a powerful aura. His cultivation level shot up to the peak of middle-stage nascent soul, only one step from late-stage nascent soul. He stared at Wang Lin and said, in a low voice, "You should feel honored. You are the first person to see my true form since I've reached the nascent soul stage. There are too few experts around, so I'm reluctant to kill you. If you had another 80 to 100 years, you might have had time to grow up. Let's do this. If you cut off one of your arms, I'll let you go for 100 years. I hope that, in 100 years, you will grow powerful enough to fight me. I can't wait." After Jimo finished speaking, his face was filled with pride. His hands were behind his back and his head was pointed toward the sky. His figure revealed the look of someone who was unbeatable, but it also contained a hint of loneliness. After letting out a sigh, he glanced at Wang Lin, then slowly left. When he moved 100 meters away, he suddenly increased his speed and ran off without even looking back. Wang Lin revealed an odd expression. His eyes glowed red as the G-realm suddenly moved and a series of red lightning bolts shot from his eyes. Without any suspense, Jimo's eyes dimmed as he revealed a look of disbelief, then his body fell from the sky. Then, under the attack of several restrictions, his body was torn apart. At the same time, his bag of holding floated into Wang Lin's hand. Wang Lin's body flashed and disappeared. When he reappeared, he was next to the 4 puppets. When Jimo died, the 4 puppets stopped moving. Wang Lin looked at them a few times and thought for a while. He searched through Jimo's bag of holding and started checking all of the jades inside. After a while, he found a piece of jade that contained the method for refining puppets. After reading the jade, Wang Lin's hand formed seals according to the instructions and shot them toward the puppets' foreheads. Suddenly, the puppets turned into smoke and entered the bag of holding. Wang Lin then put away the bag of holding, stepped back onto the mosquito beast, and quickly moved toward the Heian sect. Inside the Heian sect, the head ancestor, Old Man Yin Yang, had a dark expression and was walking back and forth in the main hall with his hands behind his back. He couldn't make up his mind. Inside the main hall were 3 others, 2 female and 1 male. The male was very handsome and the 2 females were very beautiful. All 3 of them were nascent soul cultivators. They were also frowning and couldn't make a decision. One of the women was wearing a yellow robe that was very alluring. She softly said, "Senior apprentice brother, does that cultivator really have spirit-severing cultivation level?" Junior sister doesn't believe so. This woman's clothes were very close-fitting, revealing her curvy body that would make anyone's heart pound. If it wasn't for the frown on her face, she would be even more charming. Old Man Yin Yang let out a soft HMPH and said, "Tian Dao Sect's Yellow Mountain was an early-stage nascent soul cultivator and died from just one look from this person. Saying that this person is in the nascent soul stage would be underestimating him." The woman wearing yellow became silent and her brow tightened even more. The middle-aged man quickly found a ring of light to sit down on. After taking a deep breath, he suddenly heard his fellows shouting, so he looked around and saw everyone looking upward. He looked up too and was stunned. In the sky above the Heian sect, an extremely ferocious beast appeared. The beast had a very notable proboscis that was holding a string that was tied to a banner with countless bodies bound onto it. At the top of the beast's head stood a person. The person had a head full of white hair. Although he looked ordinary, he emitted a very powerful killing intent. After the middle-aged man saw the person, he frowned. He felt like he had seen this person before, but couldn't remember. Wang Lin looked at the Heian sect below him. He could feel that there was a defensive formation that was countless times stronger than the ones at Wufeng Valley and the Qiandao sect. This defense formation was very powerful. Unless his cultivation level had reached spirit severing, it would be very hard to break through it in a short period of time. The key to the formation was that as long as the Heian sect's disciples sat on the rings, they will automatically supply the formation with energy. The Heian sect had thousands of disciples, so breaking through the formation was like fighting thousands of people. The Tang family members were inside the main hall. It was clear that the Heian sect was going to fight until the end. Wang Lin's eyes calmly swept the ground. His gaze landed on an old man. He said to him, "If you don't open up this formation, a river of blood will flow here." That old man was Old Man Yin Yang. After he saw Wang Lin, he frowned even harder and asked, "Fellow cultivator, what are you here for?" Wang Lin let out a sneer and red lightning appeared in his eyes. Although this formation was strong, if everyone maintaining the formation were to die, then it would break by itself. G-Realm shot out as a red lightning bolt and landed on the formation. The formation didn't even shake, but Old Man Yin Yang was startled. Soon, more than 10 disciples on the ground let out miserable screams as they bled from every orifice and died. They fell to the ground and the rings of light below them suddenly lit up, then disappeared. Wang Lin's voice was cold as he slowly said, "Are you going to open the formation?" Old Man Yin Yang laughed coldly in his heart and didn't speak. Wang Lin's G-Realm moved again. This time, 10 red lightning bolts hit the formation. More than 100 disciples coughed out blood. Their bodies twitched a few times before they died. A sense of fear suddenly spread among the remaining disciples. Wang Lin calmly looked at Old Man Yin Yang and asked, "Are you going to open the formation?" Old Man Yin Yang's expression was sullen and he remained silent. He sat down and started feeding spiritual energy into the formation. The other 3 nascent soul cultivators clenched their jaws as they sat down too. After half an hour, Wang Lin calmly walked out. He waved his hand and the dragon banner held by the mosquito beast flew into the main hall and carried out a few hundred bodies. The faces on these bodies were filled with fear and hate. All of these people were very young. If Wang Lin didn't exist, some of them would have surely become core formation cultivators, maybe even nascent soul cultivators. However, they shouldn't have been named Tang. It's better to say that Tang Li shouldn't have tried to kill Wang Lin. One step wrong and every step after it goes wrong as well. If Tang Li had known better, he wouldn't have tried to kill Wang Lin. Or if Tang Huiyuan didn't kill Wang Lin's entire family, then Wang Lin wouldn't have come here to take revenge, because there would be no need for revenge. Wang Lin killed Tang Li and Tang Huiyuan killed Wang Lin once, so their debt to each other had already been wiped clean. Wang Lin was not here to get revenge for himself, but for his family. Just as Wang Lin was prepared to leave, a soft call suddenly came from the main square. "Wang Lin?" This call was very soft and filled with uncertainty. Wang Lin stopped and looked toward the owner of the voice. In the distance, he saw a middle-aged man in the corner. The weak middle-aged man looked at Wang Lin with a reminiscent look. Wang Lin felt like this person was very familiar. He took one step and arrived before the middle-aged man. He knelt down and asked, "What did you say just now?" The middle-aged man hesitated for a bit. He bitterly smiled and said, "Senior, Junior mistook you for someone else. Please don't blame me, Senior." Wang Lin carefully looked at the person and said, "Oh really? What did you mistake me for?" The middle-aged man bitterly smiled and exclaimed, "Senior, Junior once had a junior apprentice brother. I was the one who brought him to the sect." Wang Lin's heart shook. He finally remembered who this person was. He pondered for a moment, then waved his sleeves and disappeared from the Heian sect along with the middle-aged man. On a cliff hundreds of kilometers away, Wang Lin and the middle-aged man appeared. Wang Lin placed him down on the ground and carefully looked at the person. The middle-aged man looked around him. He revealed a complex expression and softly said, "You." Wang Lin softly sighed and said, "Senior apprentice brother John, if you had recognized me, why not just say it?" The middle-aged man's body quivered. After pondering a bit, he bitterly smiled and said, "I?" Well, Wang Lin looked at the person before him and scenes of the past flashed by. After a while, he asked, in a wistful tone, How is the Hengyu sect now? The middle-aged man whispered, I haven't gone back in many years. Why is Brother Zhong at the Heian sect? And your cultivation? Wang Lin frowned. He grabbed the middle-aged man's arm. He pondered a little and continued, the spiritual energy in your body is a complete mess and your meridians are very fragile. Their destination was Tang family city. Wang Lin revealed a cruel look in his eyes. He thought, all of you, move as you wish. When everyone has moved into Tang family city, that is the day I will pay a visit to Tang Huiyuan. The widespread migration continued throughout Zhao. However, there were 7 people that still hadn't moved. In these past few days of killing, Wang Lin had found out through various methods that the Tang family had 9 core family members. Besides Tang Huiyuan, very few people knew what cultivation level these people were at. It could be said that they were the people Tang Huiyuan was training to take over the Tang family. In order to help those 9 people's cultivation, Tang Huiyuan spent a lot of effort and resources to open up 9 spirit caves. The 9 of them spent most of their time cultivating inside. All of the pills, magic treasures, and techniques needed were supplied by the family. The 9 people's only job was to cultivate. Every once in a while, Tang Huiyuan would take the 9 of them to the dangerous areas in the neighboring countries to train. It could be said that whether it was their cultivation or combat experience, both had reached their peaks. These 9 could be said to have been created from all of the resources of the Tang family. In addition to all that, it wasn't like the 9 never changed. Every 50 years, the Tang family members had a chance to challenge any of these 9 people. If they win, they immediately take their spot and gain access to all of the benefits of being one of those 9 and gain the full support of the Tang family. As a result, among the 9 core Tang family members, besides one, every other position had exchanged owners at least 3 times. Under all these challenges, it was clear how high the core Tang family members' cultivation levels were. The 7 unmoving points of light detected by Wang Lin were all core Tang family members. The other 2 were called back to Tang family city. Wang Lin revealed a vicious light in his eyes. Right now, every other Tang family member was moving toward Tang family city just as he had planned. Right now, his targets were those 7 core family members that the Tang family spent countless years to cultivate. These 7 must die? A powerful killing intent leaked from Wang Lin as he locked onto his target and slowly flew toward a sand dome in the distance. Tang 9 was a name and at the same time it was an honorable title. This name had changed owners many times. To be exact, it was 6 times. Tang 9 sat inside a hidden room. The room looked very humble, but Tang 9 knew that this hidden room would make any Tang family member crazed with envy. He once was one of those envious Tang family members after all. He was a genius ever since he was a child and he had always dreamed of becoming a core family member. Only by becoming a core family member would he receive the support of the family, the notice of the ancestors, and have a chance of reaching the nascent soul stage. Growing up in the Tang family, he had seen all of the cold and snobbish attitudes of the Tang family. Everything he had experienced as a child had turned his heart cold and made him willing to do anything to gain power. Below this chamber was a spirit vein. Although this spirit vein wasn't large, to be used for just one person to cultivate was an unimaginable luxury. Pills? Tang 9 wasn't short on any pills. If he asked for a pill, the Tang family would use whatever method needed to get it for him. Technique? Tang 9 had many. Any technique he wanted, the Tang family would get it for him. Magic treasures? Tang 9 had many, and every one of them was a nascent soul-level magic treasure. Women? He was not short on any. As long as he asked, the Tang family would bring him a woman of at least a certain cultivation level for him to use. Tang 9 didn't have to worry about anything. This was the benefit of being one of the 9 core family members. His only job was to cultivate, and cultivate. Wang Lin's body floated in the air. With his divine sense, he could clearly see a hidden chamber under the sand domes. Inside the hidden chamber was his prey. This person was the first nascent Soul Tang family member he had met besides Tang Huiyuan, and this person also had a strong murderous aura around him. This murderous aura was impossible to obtain without killing a lot of people. Although it was several levels below Wang Lin's killing intent, it was still a bit stronger than even some of the demonic cultivators in the Sea of Devils. Wang Lin faintly smiled. This Tang family member made his eyes light up. It has to be said that the requirement to become a devil is to have a ferocious nature. The more ferocious the person is, the more powerful they will be as a devil. Wang Lin formed a seal with his right hand and pressed into the ground. On the sand dune, the imprint of a hand appeared and slowly pressed into the ground. Inside the hidden chamber, Tang 9 suddenly opened his eyes and without any hesitation, he disappeared from the hidden chamber. The moment he disappeared, the hidden chamber collapsed and formed a whirlpool of sand. When Tang 9 reappeared, he was already floating in the air, emitting a murderous aura. He looked at the hidden chamber, then at Wang Lin as his murderous aura reached its limit. The moment Wang Lin saw Tang 9 slap his bag of holding, he took out the restriction flag. 10 restrictions immediately appeared and formed a wall, protecting Wang Lin. Then, the bead landed on the wall of restrictions and exploded. Tang 9 didn't reveal a happy smile at the result, and instead that sense of danger became even stronger. Just as he was running away, he suddenly felt every hair on his body stand up. He dodged to the side without any hesitation and saw a flash of red lightning that almost touched his body go by. Tang 9's eyes were filled with fear because he felt imminent death from that red lightning. He believed that if he hadn't just dodged that red lightning at that moment, he would have died. But before he could rejoice, hundreds of streaks of red lightning suddenly appeared all around him, completely blocking his escape. Tang 9's body stiffened and he didn't dare to keep flying. He slowly turned to Wang Lin and said, "Senior, Junior is willing to serve under you and never betray you. I'm willing to give you my soul blood to show my loyalty." Wang Lin stared at Tang 9 and slowly shook his head. He didn't say anything, but used his divine sense to make the cage of red lightning around Tang 9 slowly shrink. Tang 9's forehead was filled with sweat as he took out countless magic treasures and sent them out, but no matter how many he threw, none of them could break through the red lightning. The divine sense on every magic treasure would break the moment they touched the red lightning. Every time the divine sense on a magic treasure shattered, he would feel pain in his head. Gradually, the fear on his face became even stronger. "You have to die because your name is Tang." Wang Lin's voice slowly floated over as a faint killing intent spread out from him. Tang 9's body shook. His eyes turned red and let out a roar as he charged towards the red lightning. The moment his body touched the red lightning, he didn't immediately die, but his figure looked very weak. How could Wang Lin be willing to kill such a good candidate for turning into a devil? He let out a smile as he thought about how good it will feel when he turns the Tang family members into devils. As the red lightning rapidly closed in, Tang 9's mind collapsed as he felt the sense of hopelessness. This feeling became even more powerful, and as the feeling reached its peak, just as Tang 9 was about to destroy his own soul, Wang Lin moved. He jumped off the mosquito beast and went through the red lightning. His hand reached toward Tang 9's throat and viciously squeezed. With a cracking sound, Tang 9's eyes almost popped out as he was filled with despair and died. Just as he died, Wang Lin's left hand formed a strange seal and placed it on Tang 9's forehead. "I take your soul in the name of a soul devourer." The third devil was made from the spirit ape. While it was powerful, it was not fierce enough. These three devils were very different from Wang Lin's vision of a devil that he got from the foreign battleground. None of the three matched the power and ferocity of the wandering souls from the foreign battleground, so none of them were satisfactory products in Wang Lin's view. However, now it was different. If the soul inside the soul flag becomes a devil, then its power and ferocity will not be a problem. Even if it isn't as good as the wild wandering souls of the foreign battleground, the difference won't be too big. If the other Tang family members' natures are all like this, then I will have to thank Tang Huiyuan for training such perfect devil candidates for me, Wang Lin muttered to himself as his eyes lit up and he flew toward his next destination. With his divine sense, he could feel that besides one person, who was at the border of Zhao, they had all moved. They clearly wanted to return to Tang Family City. If it was before he saw Tang 9, Wang Lin would have let them all return to Tang Family City and would have killed them all there. But after experiencing Tang 9, how could he let other perfect candidates like Tang 9 get away? Although the mosquito beast was fast, it was not fast enough for Wang Lin. He took out a pill and ate it as he jumped off the mosquito beast and charged toward the next target. Tang 8 was casually flying in the air. His eyes were calm and he didn't feel tense at all. In fact, he didn't want to return to Tang Family City, but the murders in the past few days had caused the entire Tang family to panic. More importantly, the Tang family ancestor was indifferent about this matter and hadn't left Tang Family City at all. Thus, this whole thing became even more strange. This was the reason Tang 8 was going back to Tang Family City to check on the situation. As he flew, he had his divine sense spread out so he could react to even a blade of grass moving. But Tang 8 didn't believe that the person that had been killing the Tang family members would dare to come mess with him. After all, the strongest Tang family members that had been killed were only at the core formation stage. Tang 8 believed that he could have killed all of them as well. After all, he was at the mid-stage of nascent soul. With his cultivation level, he could casually go anywhere in Zhao. Although he wasn't a match for those late-stage nascent soul old monsters, he didn't fear them. In the entire country of Zhao, he only feared 2 people. Of the 2, the first person wasn't Tang Huiyuan, but Tang Wan. Tang Huiyuan was only second. In fact, every time he thought of Tang Wan, he couldn't help but feel a chill in his body. Aside from those 2, he wasn't afraid of anyone else. In fact, he hoped that that mysterious person would appear before him. He was the 5th person to hold the name Tang 8. That means that for a long time, everyone that challenged him was killed by him. Tang 8 let out a terrible scream. The scream was so terrible that it would turn someone's face pale. As he screamed, his body involuntarily thrusted in all directions and black veins popped on his forehead. They were black because Wang Lin's soul devourer soul was flowing through them along with the blood. It didn't last long, but Tang 8's painful scream continued. His voice was already hoarse and he was covered in cold sweat. After a while, his body suddenly shook violently and he fell to the ground. As his body fell, Wang Lin's soul devourer soul took Tang 8's nascent soul and returned to Wang Lin's body. Tang 8's soul was placed in the soul flag and his body was bound by the dragon banner. From the time Wang Lin appeared until now, it wasn't long. Most of the time consisted of Tang 8 screaming. After Wang Lin's soul returned to his body, he didn't hesitate and charged toward the next target. Tang 6 was not young. 200 years ago, he was already a core Tang family member, but had lost his title to a challenger. Luckily, he didn't die and went into years of closed-door cultivation. After he came out, he went to where the then Tang 6 was cultivating and killed the challenger that beat him before. This was all done without the permission of Tang Huiyuan. Afterward, although he received punishment from Tang Huiyuan, he held onto the name of Tang 6. Although his cultivation level was only nascent soul, his cultivation method allowed him to transform murderous aura. It was because of this ability that Tang Huiyuan allowed him to keep the position of Tang 6. Wang Lin stood in place and looked at the direction Tang 6 escaped toward. He pondered for a while, then took out his restriction flag to cover the area within a 1,000-kilometer radius. Shortly after, Wang Lin pointed at his brow and the devil Shulikwa and the 3rd devil appeared. Wang Lin ordered them to protect him as he took out the bronze mirror. The bronze mirror floated above Wang Lin's head and slowly wobbled. After doing all that, Wang Lin took a deep breath and closed his eyes. Soon, black fog started coming out of Wang Lin's head. The black fog grew until it was like a black cloud. Suddenly, the black cloud moved and quickly spread out and covered the entire country of Zhao. This black cloud was Wang Lin's soul devourer soul. This time, his soul devourer soul completely left his body. Tang 5 was a very handsome middle-aged man. It could be said he looked very much like Tang Li from back then. Beside him were 2 very beautiful female cultivators. All 3 of them were quickly flying toward Tang Family City. Seeing that they were about to be within 10,000 kilometers of Tang Family City, Tang 5 let out a sigh of relief. But just at that moment, the sky suddenly darkened and black clouds covered the sky. As Tang 5 stared dumbfoundedly, the black cloud quickly descended and surrounded him. Then, the black cloud left with Tang 5's soul and nascent soul. A shout of anger came from Tang Family City as Tang Huiyuan rushed out of the city like lightning. Just now, he felt Tang 5's presence. Then, Tang 5's presence was suddenly gone. At that moment, he also felt a presence powerful enough to cause his heart to pound. Just as Tang Huiyuan arrived, the black cloud in the sky moved and formed a face, Wang Lin's face. He coldly looked at Tang Huiyuan. He let out a cruel smile and disappeared. Tang 4's cultivation level was not high. He was only in the early stage of nascent soul. After all, he had only received the position of core family member 20 years ago. Just as Tang Huiyuan arrived, the black cloud in the sky moved and formed a face, Wang Lin's face. He coldly looked at Tang Huiyuan. He let out a cruel smile and disappeared. Tang 4's cultivation level was not high. He was only in the early stage of nascent soul. After all, he had only received the position of core family member 20 years ago. Currently, he was standing on a flying sword as he quickly flew. He felt very grief-stricken because of the family members that had died. One of them was his own younger brother. This was the reason he left the hidden chamber. He didn't leave to go back to Tang Family City, but to get revenge for his younger brother. Unfortunately, this was a quest for vengeance he could never complete, because the current him didn't even notice the cloud above him become more dense. In one day of time, out of the 7 core Tang family members outside, 5 had already died. One of them was still not moving from their hidden chamber and the other was quickly moving. But this person wasn't by himself. Beside him there was a male and a female. If Wang Lin saw those two, he would have immediately recognized them because one of them was Wang Shuo. Wang Shuo no longer had the normal dark expression on his face, but instead showed a sense of relief because currently someone was wiping out the Tang family. Although he didn't know who was doing this, that didn't affect his mood. He hoped that that person would continue to kill until all of the Tang family was wiped out. He looked at his wife and felt very complicated. He originally didn't have any feelings for this woman, but due to the pressure from Tang Huiyuan and to protect himself, he married her. But a person isn't made of wood. Although he hated the Tang family, his feelings toward his wife were very complicated. Tang 3 didn't look young. His hair was already white and he looked to be about 40 or 50 years old. If one looked closely, they could see that Wang Shuo's wife looked like him. He was very handsome. On his flawless face was a pair of eyes that shone like black gems. Tang 3 softly said, "Xiao Xiao, right now, the Tang family is facing a powerful enemy and the ancestor won't come out. This whole thing is too strange. Once you have safely reached Tang family city, stay there with your younger sister and don't come out." Tang Xiao Xiao was Tang 3's daughter. The reason Tang 3 left the hidden chamber was to guard his daughter on her way to Tang family city. Tang Xiao Xiao nodded. Tang 3 hesitated for a bit and said, If I can't escape death this time, then forget about going to Tang family city to find your little sister. Leave the country of Zhao immediately. Go as far away as you can." Wang Shuo listened to all of this silently on the side. Although his expression was calm, he was coldly laughing in his heart. Tang 3's eyes seemed to be able to see through one's heart as he looked at Wang Shuo. His expression didn't change, so no one knew if he was happy or angry. Waves of emotion surged in his heart as he rubbed Tang Xiao Xiao's hair. He knew that ever since he was forced by the ancestor to separate from his wife all those years ago, he will forever live under the shadow of the ancestor. All of this was because his wife was a mortal and because he was the great-great-grandson of the ancestor. An important Tang family member couldn't take a mortal as his wife. Because his descendants must have the qualifications to cultivate. If he wanted to change things, then he must have power. He must reach a cultivation level that surpasses the ancestor. Many years later, he succeeded in his cultivation and was able to push his 2 daughters onto the path of cultivation, but his wife's lifespan was already up. The pain in his heart had never diminished in all these years. In these years, he focused purely on cultivation. Only by cultivating could he suppress the thoughts of his wife. To a certain extent, Tang Xiao Xiao, who looked the most like Tang 3's wife, not only was his daughter, but also received all of the love he had for his wife. That was why he wouldn't let Tang Xiao Xiao receive any kind of harm or let anyone cause her any grievance. He coldly looked at Wang Shuo and said, "Wang Shuo, because of Tang Xiao Xiao, I'll let you live. Now scram. From now on, Tang Xiao Xiao has no relation with you." Wang Shuo's eyes lit up. He looked at Tang 3 and said, "What a temper." With that, he jumped back and was about to leave. After Tang Xiao Xiao heard this, she quickly moved forward and grabbed Wang Shuo's arm. She turned around, looked at her father with watery eyes, and bit her lower lips without a word. Tang 3's eyes were still cold, but he slowly let out a sigh and turned around. Tang Xiao Xiao's expression right now was just like his wife's. He didn't want to kill Wang Shuo because he didn't want to cause Tang Xiao Xiao any pain. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.